Thank you very much, Mr. Korir. Another round of applause, please, for our keynote speaker and our chief guest for officially opening the Smart Cities Forum 2025. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the next item on the program was a presentation on public procurement and another on by the Kenya Rural by Kura, I beg your pardon, but in the interest of time, we wish to now move on to our panel discussion this morning. Now, from conversations of procurement to conversations of mobility, we've seen this morning how Kenya is adopting smart infrastructure and smart systems to make governance and infrastructure more transparent, more efficient, and more citizen-focused. But it's now time to bring all these ideas together in our first panel discussion of the day, the session that explores how data, technology, and collaboration between government and the private sector can make our cities not just digital, but truly smart and sustainable. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our distinguished panelists for this session. And first up is Ms. Yvonne Gikuni. She will be joining our panel representing the National Treasury on behalf of Mr. Eric Korir. Yvonne? Let's please give her a round of applause as she makes her way on stage. Also joining us today is Dr. Jackson Koimburi, representing the Kenya Private Sector Alliance, KEPSA. Also joining us for this panel discussion is Engineer Michael Njonge. He is the Deputy Director, Traffic Management and Road Safety at the Kenya Urban Roads Authority, Kura. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us on stage. We welcome you all and thank you for joining us for this vital discussion. All right, do we have our other panelists on stage? Yes, just sit anywhere. We're still waiting for Yvonne Gikuni, representing the National Treasury on behalf of Mr. Eric Korir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I begin. You can start the conversation with the gentleman that we already have. I'll also kindly ask that somebody assist us to take the podium off the stage, please. All right, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause, please, as Yvonne Gikuni joins us on stage. We have one panelist who is not with us, but we shall proceed. Now, I'd like us to begin the conversation where every conversation about governance must begin, and that is with trust and transparency, right? Because when people talk about smart cities, most imagine drones, sensors, robots, AI systems, but truly smart governance begins with something even more basic. It has nothing to do with technology, and that is trust in how the government works. And so, Yvonne, let me begin with you, because Kenya has made major investments in digital procurement and financial systems. From your vantage point, from the National Treasury, what is working well so far, and where do you see friction in making these systems fully efficient and citizen-focused?
Thank you. In terms of citizen trust and digital technology, I'll speak on this perspective from the e-government procurement. I think digitization of service delivery, especially government services, leans towards the transparent processes, especially in procurement. One of the principles is transparency. So the e-government procurement ensures that in terms of having data that is available for the citizens, they're able to interact with the system. Like currently, we have annual procurement plans already published by several procuring entities. So citizens can have trust in government that their public funds are being utilized in an efficient manner. They can come to their website and see what are these procurement opportunities that are available to the public. It also, in terms of from the budget making process, as you're aware, the financial management starts from the budget being read at the beginning of this financial year. And procurement is a tool of execution of the budget. So once the citizens can see from the system that this is how their public funds are being utilized, it builds their confidence in the way the government is using the public funds. So. Yeah,
right. Perhaps let's talk about how counties, in your view, are being supported to digitize their procurement systems as well, because counties are at the heart of urban transformation. We've tried end-to-end transparency, but is it working in the counties as we speak?
Yes, it's working in the counties. Currently, we have around 39 counties already published their annual procurement plans. We supported them since the rollout of the system, in terms of training them and also providing hands-on support to learn the functionality of the system. And also, it's not only focused on the entity side. We also have suppliers being sensitized on how to use the system because, as you're aware, procurement is two-pronged. We have the suppliers interacting with government and government also interacting with suppliers. So far we have quite a number of also open tenders being published from the county government. So we are seeing quite some interaction from them and also some goodwill from their end on using the system.
All right. Dr. Koimburi, let's come to you from the private sector side, because your members are often the ones bidding for government projects or waiting for payments, and the issue of pending bills, has been a painful one. But are they now starting to see a difference under these new systems that we're talking about?
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me here. And I wish to say that when it comes to the EGP, that is the Electronic Government Procurement System, we as the private sector, because I come from KEPSA, that is the Kenya Private Sector Alliance, we have many members, and our members span across the various sectors. When it comes to procurement, we are also on board to ensure that we are part and parcel of the smart cities agenda. Because when a city is smart, it ensures that our businessmen and women get the return on investment. And the return on investment can only be attained when we save time and obviously money. So the EGP system, we have seen it as very timely because one, it also stops, quote unquote, the kitu kidogo that we call in terms of giving back kickbacks and the strenuous offices that we need to go to. Remember, we are competing with our counterparts in Eastern Africa and even in Africa and beyond. And if you have looked at the recent reports, they have shown that our counterparts, be it Tanzania and even Uganda and others, they are leading in terms of production. And this one is a key sign that Kenya needs to pull up their socks. So this all boils down to EGP system, because we have seen investors complaining that our procurement system and our system when it comes to even seeking for bids and even in terms of projects and programs is too strenuous. You have to seek licenses right and left. A key example I usually like to give is from the Kenya Flower Council. One of them was complaining that they need to acquire 58 licenses. 58 licenses just to run a single flower farm business is too much. And these 58 licenses, some of them are not in any e-system. You have to do it physically. You have to go to the offices. And when you go to all these offices, somebody will obviously require something from you to fast track the process. So what I'm saying is that the EGP system, be it for this one and any other one, this one is the right path or a right way towards making a city smart. So obviously we as a private sector embrace it, and we hope that it goes full throttle, but at the same time, we need to see transparency in every corridor avenue as we access this portal. But also, internet connectivity needs to be at the forefront, electricity needs to be at the forefront, because these systems cannot work if these systems are not working. And currently, maybe within the discussion, I'll be able to talk about even the electricity, because currently in Africa, from the article you have seen, Africa or Kenya is being rated top 5 in terms of cost of electricity for businesses per kilowatt. we are going as high as 0.2 USD per kilowatt. So if the electricity is too high for Kenya, and yet we are boasting to be 92% renewable energy, heading to 100% renewable energy by 2030, what does it mean for us to reach 100% renewable energy? And yet our cost of power is rated top 5 out of the 54 countries in Africa. And some of the African countries don't even have 50% renewable energy. So that's why you are seeing most investors in Kenya and others are looking outwardly instead of looking at Kenya, and that is where we want them to look at. Look at Kenya, and EGP system is one of the avenues that we embrace wholly. Thank you so much.
Right, and the conversation on energy prices is one that we will definitely get into. But Engineer Njonge, you work in one of the most visible public sectors, roads and mobility, Kura. How is Kura using technology now to ensure that projects are awarded and executed transparently to begin with?
Thank you very much. Hello? You can hear me?
Go ahead, go ahead.
Thank you very much for having me here. At Kura, automation or using technology has been at the heart of our operations right from the beginning. And within our enterprise management system, we have a module specifically addressing issues procurement, so that even within the organization, everything from requisition all the way to the issuing of awards is done through the system. So that ensures that you do not have interference within the system as the procurement is taking place. And that has helped us to make sure that only those who are qualified to carry out roadworks are able to reach the stage of implementation. Thank you.
Right. I mean, when you talk about digitization, when it comes to roads, does it reduce project delays or cost overruns at any point?
Thank you for that question. When you use technology, you are able to get in real time what is happening on the ground. Because on our social media platforms, we get information on a daily basis from the officers who are on the ground on the progress that is happening. Case in point, recently when the government repaid the outstanding bills and the contractors were expected to resume works, we were getting information on a daily basis from right across the country as contractor by contractor, resumed works and who had not resumed. And so you're able to keep track of what is happening on the ground through the use of technology and through the systems that the authority has put in place.
All right. And Victor, perhaps you can come in here. Victor Merege works with the National Treasury. You have worked closely with the Electronic Government Procurement System, or the EGP unit. Just borrowing from that question, how do we measure success with EGP? Is it faster delivery? Is it cost savings? Or is it public trust from where you sit?
Thank you very much. Yeah. You are very right. Success has to be measured, and EGP is one way of making efficient public procurement. As you are aware, we are moving from a manual-based way of carrying out public procurement. IFMIS was not adequate in giving us end-to-end. So this is a moment for efficient and effective public procurement. So to answer your question, yes, we can measure efficiency through faster procurement, delivery of goods, works and services for the populace. There is also low corruption, There is very little human intervention in procurement processes, so low corruption. So it will mean that the incidences of corruption will really, really go down. But most important is the aspect of efficiency, the aspect of delivery of government services, and the tracking of transactions by the populace. As Yvonne has mentioned, through procurement planning, the citizens are able to follow up how their taxes are being used. This is the surest way of citizens knowing that this is their money, how it is being used, how it has been planned for, how it is being processed in the system, and I believe that is also one of the most powerful ways of measuring success.
Right.
Thank you.
And we've seen counties, Victor, at the forefront of this. I mean, Nairobi County obviously leading, Kiambu County, we've seen Murang'a County leading in this. But how then is the National Treasury helping counties or bringing digital governance to the county level? And Yvonne, of course, alluded to this, but the level of infrastructure at the county level to allow for efficient EGP or electronic government procurement, is it efficient? Is it equal for all 47 counties?
Well, the issue of infrastructure is debatable, but the fact is we do have infrastructure across all counties. At the present time at the contemporary time when we are living, there is infrastructure, there is internet spread across all parts of the country, and we believe that counties are able to transact through the e-procurement system in view of the infrastructure that they have. Also, to add on that, the EGP system is a web, it can be accessed through the web, it can be accessed through the mobile phone. So this makes it easy for anybody, anywhere in the country, to fill their tenders if they are suppliers, to approve something if they are users of the EGP system. So this makes it easy for users across the country to use EGP. And maybe to add more on this question is that the counties are well capacity built. They were well capacity built. They have been well trained to handle the EGP system. They were taken to the Kenya School of Government, and they are ready really to deliver on this EGP system. Training is ongoing. We do have YouTube channels where even at the comfort of their offices, the comfort of their homes, they are able to practice and to use the system the way it's supposed to be used. Even the suppliers in the counties are able to use the system. They are trained every week as we speak. Trainings are going on. In fact, they take place every Thursday. So suppliers who are here, this is your moment. Please register, log in, and get trained and start using the system. Thank you.
All right, and so that is on a government perspective, that electronic government procurement is streamlining governance, transparency, and trust in government operations. But let's now shift from governance to planning. And I'd like to come to you, this one, Koimburi, because data is the DNA of a smart city. It's literally the difference between guessing and knowing. Kenya collects huge amounts of data from satellite mapping, but how do we then move from data collection to data connection to ensure that as we plan for our smart cities, we're using the data we have to ensure there's inclusivity and equity?
So, yeah, thank you for the question. And maybe something I need to write on that in terms of data is we at the Private Sector Alliance, that is at KEPSA, we have been very key to ensure that we see how best we can be able to get all this data, because I said earlier we have over 2 million members. We have over 80 business member organizations. And all these members, they have information and they have data. With all this data, our thinking is how can you be able to harness this data and develop a centralized data bank as other smart cities, which I'll be able to mention that I've had an interaction to visit and see, they have been able to harness this data. Because without data, you cannot be able to have a smart city. Data is very important in having a smart city. So at the moment, we have key members from service providers, from mobile service providers to others, data handlers, that we are trying to see how best we can be able to work towards one, policy improvement. We recently had the data privacy bill and policy where we contributed our sentiments to ensure that as much as we have data, how can it be protected? Because data, once you have it, how do you handle it? So without handling that data well, then you don't expect the public to provide that data to you. So maybe something else I need to mention is, and to make this more interesting, because what is our key mandate of having and transitioning a city to make it smart? A key example I like to give is, Vietnam. I was in Vietnam for a while, and Vietnam has a land size that is half that of Kenya. Kenya is double the land size of Vietnam. The population of Vietnam, funny enough, is 100 million. Kenya is roughly half of that, 55 million. But that country has been able to become food secure just because they have made that city smart. When you make a city smart, it means that you release the pressure that the city will incur in terms of either stress on the resources, stress of even food, because the CEC of Kiambu has just mentioned that the rate of urban sprawling in Kiambu is too high, and Kiambu was at one time, maybe it still is, the food and the bread basket of Kenya. But right now with the urban sprawling, we are seeing people using the agricultural lands for putting up buildings. But with smart technologies and making cities smart, then we will utilize the small sizes we have. Even the technology will tell us how many buildings, how many houses you can build in a single size of area, and how many people can be occupied in it, and also to make us conserve energy and power. So going back to your point on data, it's very critical that we work with the key institutions like the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, who are also the key designated collectors and handlers of data, but also they need to make it open that how can they integrate data that is outside their scope. Because at the moment, if you try to submit data to KNBS, they'll need to ascertain whether you're within their data bank or that data, how did you get it? But I believe there's data that's outside the KNBS from our UN counterparts. They have data, they do research daily. How can we use their data to enrich our data so that now we can be able to make, obviously, the transition toward a smart city a reality? Thank you.
Very valid points there. Just reminding our audience at home that the Smart Cities Forum 2025 is taking place at the Two Rivers Mall in Nairobi, a two-day forum under the theme Smart Cities for a Sustainable Urban Future. We've been live on NTV. At this point, let's take a short break and allow for the 1 p.m. news, but the conversation here continues. Thank you.